You've been an absolute disaster, haven't you? Go on, get out. Go think about what you've done. Hi everyone, my name is Mr. Watson, and 2020... honestly, I've never related to this meme more than I have over the past 12 months. Now, obviously, this has been an incredibly challenging year for so many people for a variety of different reasons. The uncertainty, the risks, and the personal impact that it's had on every single one of us. But we have made it to the end of 2020, and 2021 is on the horizon with hopefully much more optimism and happiness in store for everybody. But of course, the threat isn't over yet, and new restrictions and rules will continue to be put in place across the country, and therefore in schools. Let me just say that the vast majority of students who are at the school that I work at have been absolutely incredible since coming back in September, and I'm sure my sentiment is echoed in schools across the whole country. It has not been easy by any stretch of the imagination, and we've all had to adapt and get used to this new normal. But I just want to take a second and say a huge well done and a massive thank you to all those students who have followed these new procedures without any challenge or difficulty, without defiance or complaint, and by working with us rather than against us in navigating this tempestuous period of time. You are the ones who have kept your school community safe, kept your peers, your teachers, your admin and facilities staff safe. So again, well done and thank you. On a more personal note, I'd like to thank you all for your incredible support of this channel over the past year. We've grown from around 300 to just under 2,000 subscribers over the past 12 months, which for me is just staggering. The feedback I've had from students at my school and at schools across the country, and even sometimes from schools abroad, has been so positive and encouraging and constructive. And I'm so glad that my videos have been able to help so many of you continue your learning throughout this year. With that in mind, the remainder of this video is going to be kind of like a summary of all the content and resources that I've put together on this channel over the past 12 months. Just to cap off the year, and so that you can see if there are any resources that you might have missed that you think might be particularly interesting moving forward. So if you go to the videos page on the channel, this was the first video that I uploaded. New year, new format, where I kind of introduced myself and where I incorporated green screen, effects, and other kinds of movie magic into the video. So just try and make them a little bit more engaging. They've generally gone down pretty well on the whole, and they're a lot of fun as well, so I'll be continuing those moving forward. Then we have a video there on how to use paragraphs, so a video on the acronym TIP-TOP. Then I put together a sequence of videos on question 1, 2, 3, and up here's question 4 for AQA's Language Paper 1. And I believe, question 5 is up here as well. So these will all be available in a playlist. If you have a look on the playlist section up here, most of these videos have all been organised into playlists. So it'll be a good idea if you're looking for a specific text, or you're looking for like a specific exam or technique or something like that, then maybe have a look at the playlist section. It'll help you navigate through the videos a bit easier. In between these videos, I put one out about how to write a reading response paragraph, which is the main method that we use at the school that I teach. So maybe check this video out if you're still a little bit unsure about what the reading response paragraph actually is, and kind of refresh your memory on what the different steps are, to kind of give you a foundation that you can then build on in your own lessons. I then put out my top 5 quotations from each of the characters, the main characters, should I say, in An Inspector Calls. And I go into a little bit of language analysis with them as well. Effectively, the way that I have put these videos together is that each of the quotes, with the information on context and techniques and themes, they can be copied from the video onto a quotation card or an index card of some kind, should you choose to do that, which will be really good and helpful, I think, for your revision. I then went a bit mad with the green screen effect and put together this Romeo and Juliet plot overview. So it's a little bit daft, as you can see from the little preview there. I have a mustache and I appear upside down in one point. There's lots of kind of silliness in there. Really, I was just trying to test out different things different features, but the plot of Romeo and Juliet is obviously the key takeaway from that. What I might do is release kind of a shorter version, one that's kind of similar to my Inspector Calls one and Christmas Carol one in the future at some point, but for now, that's what we've got. And I've got to say, I really, really enjoyed making that. It was a lot of fun. So then I put out a video on the 4-part method, which is an approach to analysing poetry. Then again, another video here where I was just being a little bit silly, really. The comma crisis, which was like a PSA. I just had this idea to do a video about how important commas are, because I have seen a lot of people, neglect the comma recently. So that was, again, a fun video. It was kind of like a parody of those really kind of old-fashioned speeches that would be delivered by, presidents and whatever on TV. So yeah, something a bit daft, but again, fun to make. And then I remade my nouns, adjectives, verbs, and adverbs video. Try and make it a little bit clearer based on some of the feedback I had from my very first video. So that kind of gives some examples and some definitions about the different word types there. This video is top 5 tips on how to revise GCSE English literature from an English teacher. That's me. So I just give 5 tips that I think, from my few years of working with year 11s and year 10 as well, just methods and approaches that I found to be really, really useful for them in preparing for exams and revising for exams. So if you want any kind of tips, have a look there. I might do a more up-to-date one at some point in the new year because, every term, every year, you kind of come up with new ideas and new strategies and ways of doing things. So that one's there for now if you want to check it out. And then this was the part where we went into lockdown. So effectively what I was doing during lockdown is I was putting together videos that followed the schemes of work that students at my school, Denton Community College, were following in English. But I was trying to also make them quite broad in the sense that people who watched my videos who didn't go to DCC could still follow along as well. So there was a whole, period of throughout lockdown, different kind of videos for different year groups, different focuses. For example, planning persuasive writing, an introduction to Gothic literature, how to engage your audience in persuasive writing, making inferences, strategies to improve reading skills, things like that. I was trying to make a video every weekday just so that the channel was full of resources that students, in whatever situation they were in, could still access learning. I've been told that this video was particularly helpful. DCC uses Google Classroom for home learning, and I know it's obviously used by a lot of other schools. So if you're a student and you're not entirely sure how it works, or you need a bit of a kind of, bit of a tour, quick kind of tour through it, then maybe this video will be helpful for you. Again, with us incorporating home learning into the curriculum a lot more as a result of lockdown, I do intend to make more videos on Google Classroom in future, both for staff and students, really. It may be that I set up another channel for teachers and I'll just put like CPD training videos and things on there. But for now, this is there if you as a student need a bit of help. Of course, we have the Black Lives Matter vlog here where I kind of just summarised the incident that took place in America when George Floyd was killed and tried to explain the consequences of that and, kind of why things were happening at the time, such as the protests and the riots and the backlash that came as a result of that. Just like, I would do in a form time lesson or in a pastoral kind of PSHE session. Of course, we were in lockdown, so there wasn't an opportunity for anybody to ask questions or, to kind of get an understanding of what was going on. But it was a very, very significant event. And so I thought it was important that I addressed that in some way, just to clear up any kind of confusion or uncertainty from students. Here was, again, another green screen kind of labour of love, really. But I actually took a massive risk with this and decided, to put my singing skills or lack thereof to the test and make a revision song called The Ballad of Essay Writing. So I had some incredibly positive feedback to that, which was a lot nicer than I thought it would be, to be honest. So yeah, there was that one, and also a few videos later, I did another song called The Story of Woe Part 1, which effectively is a revision song again, but it focuses on Juliet from Romeo and Juliet and her kind of perspective on the whole thing. And I wrote the song in a way so that it is mostly made up of quotations from the play. So again, if you need to memorize quotations because you're sitting the Romeo and Juliet exam, maybe that's something you want to give it a listen to. And there's another way of memorizing quotations. So feel free to check these two out. They're both on Spotify as well. If you just search for The Watson 4, you'll be able to find them. And there are obviously links in the descriptions of these videos as well. So here I made a video on whether reading is actually as important as your English teacher says it is. To summarize, yes. Obviously, I might be biased, but I go into the reasons why I say that in this video. And it isn't just, because I'm an English teacher and I think you should read a book. It's the benefits of reading a book and why, why it is something that really you should be doing, not just for school, but throughout your entire life, as a means of self-improvement and self-development, and also as a way of managing stress and anxiety. So maybe have a look at that if you've ever really questioned why we're always banging on about reading. Here was a quick little Q&A, because we reached the milestone on the channel of 1,000 subscribers, which was very, very exciting. This was about 5 months ago. So I put some questions out on my teacher Instagram, which if you aren't following it, you can find the links to all that social media stuff in the description below. And I chose a few of those questions and answered them whilst wearing a party hat. Because of, it was a cause for celebration. And like I said earlier, we're getting very close to 2,000 subscribers, so there'll probably be another one of these coming up. So again, if you want to ask me any questions, get following that Instagram and watch out for that Instagram story where I'll be asking for questions. Here I uploaded a video which announced a second channel that I was putting together. We were really in the midst of lockdown at this point, and so many people, there was just so much negativity and so much kind of misery, and there wasn't much to look forward to because everything was really bleak, and the news was just constantly just awful stuff. So I just thought, right, well, I'll just put together a second channel where I'll just play some games and just be daft. There won't be teaching videos. I'll just have a bit of fun for my own good, as well as other people, students specifically, who wanted to have a watch and just laugh at an English teacher failing horrendously at Fortnite and things like that. So that has been an incredible success, I'm really happy to say, and it's been lovely having conversations with students at school who've stopped me on the corridor and kind of talked to me about games and how much they've enjoyed watching certain videos and things like that. So and also massive thank you to anybody who's given me any hints and tips. There's been quite a lot coming from people in my form, Maisie, Mia, Stuart, Andrew. Really appreciate it. Thank you very much. And of course, a lot of people in my year 11 classes as well. So yeah, keep the hints and tips coming along. I'm not sure they've made me any better at games, but at least I can kind of pretend I know what I'm doing a little bit better. If you're interested in that channel, there is a link in the About section on this channel, but you can just search for Mr. Watson Plays, and you should be able to find it from there. So then I uploaded my top 5 quotations from each of the main characters in A Christmas Carol. Same style as I used previously with the Inspector Calls ones. And then leading up to the final term, when we finished for Christmas, I was uploading these context and overview videos for some of the poems in the AQA Power and Conflict anthology. Now, the order that I'm uploading these videos is based on the order that I teach them at Denton Community College. So we group the poems together in the Power and Conflict cluster by theme. So the first grouping is made up of the war poems. The second grouping is made up of the nature and the romantic poetry, and the final group is made up of identity poetry. So I'm going to be uploading my videos, as I say, following that structure, because it just fits in with obviously the way I teach it at the school. So it'll make a bit more sense for my students as well. So these are all the war poems, and in the coming weeks I'll be looking at getting the nature and the romantics ones on next. So yeah, a whistle-stop tour through the channel. Again, if you have any suggestions of certain videos that you would like me to make, any techniques or any text that you'd like me to go over, again, let me know. Leave it in the comments of videos, suggestions, things like that. I know a lot of you have done that already. I do have a long list of texts to get through, and I am gonna be working my way through it. It's just obviously with the year that we've had, it's been very chaotic, and trying to keep a schedule has been quite difficult. But I'm gonna try and keep it as it has been over the past few months. So I'll be uploading Wednesdays on this channel at 7 o'clock in the evening, and Mondays and Fridays on my Mr. Watson Plays channel. So yeah, this has been obviously quite a long video, and if you've stuck with it till the end, thank you very much. I appreciate it. It's really the only thing that's left to say is just a massive thank you for everyone who has supported this channel. You know, I really enjoy making these videos, and knowing that they've been helping people makes it all worth it. And just motivates me to want to make better videos and to help you all out as much as I can. So yeah, thank you very much. No matter how difficult 2020 has been for you, this is an opportunity for a kind of, a mentality reset almost. New year, new start. And I think, it's a bit of a cliche, but I think this year we definitely need that. Let's start as we mean to go on. Let's be more optimistic, and let's continue doing all the great things we have been doing. Following the guidelines, following the rules, wearing masks properly, all of this stuff. And hopefully, by this time next year, we will be in a much, much, much better situation. And to end, I just want to wish you and your family a brighter, happier, and healthier 2021. See you in the new year.